Justin Bieber gave Maddie a really big early birthday gift, and that was Bieberchella.
That was really a gift to all of us, honestly.
Today is Maddie's birthday, and I can say that because we're filming this episode the day it's coming out.
The day.
No, the day before.
And my birthday is the
coming out
whole
tomorrow.
reason why this podcast exists, as you shared in
Yes.
your little Instagram post for my birthday.
Our founding.
You are the founding father.
I'm the founding
of this
father.
podcast.
This day is what inspired.
My existential crisis at 25, my quarter life crisis, is the founding father of this podcast.
It is. If she didn't feel all those negative feelings on her 25th birthday, we wouldn't be sitting here today.
And I'm happy to report, I actually said this morning, that I had an awful 25th birthday. Every birthday in my 20s up till 25 was like every year was a crisis point. And
always.
Since like last year being 26, we had just filmed the podcast when I celebrate, like finished filming the podcast when I celebrate season 1 on my 26th birthday. And each birthday has felt better since 25. So 26 and 27 are feeling significantly better than 25.
We're happy to report.
Happy to report.
Yeah.
Hopefully the podcast has helped with that.
I feel like it has.
I remember
The
like
perspective. It started a perspective shift that was much needed.
Yeah, I remember like hearing guests that were like either in their 20s or even 30s, 40s, 50s, like their opinions on like what their 20s was like really eye-opening.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Truly.
I literally just blanked out mid-sentence.
Well, Bieberchella, we
couldn't
wanted
see
to
it
talk
in your
about.
eyes.
Did you see it?
It has been the moment, and I think like it was like I think the analogy here for your 20s, if we want to like go there, is like connecting to your inner child,
Just like Bieber.
in your 20s. I think that's what we're all striving for, is singing along to the younger versions of ourselves in harmony, synchronized
Did anyone else-
with our younger selves.
Did anyone else see that clip of him singing to his younger self on the YouTube
That was
screen?
honestly cinema.
It was cinema, truly. But yeah,
was so
let's connect with our
beautiful.
younger selves, shall we?
I also saw this thing about how it was like a lot about him actually just like finding himself and finally like being himself on stage, because I think for a long time it was, you know, other people kind of pulling the strings and he was a puppet. I mean, obviously I don't know the behind the scenes of anything, but that's just what I've heard. And it was nice just to see him having fun.
But I think for a lot of people in their 20s, like sometimes it's not literally a person pulling the strings, but it can be your own baggage pulling the strings of your life that is guiding you in a direction that isn't true to yourself. Like, remember we talked to Krista and Lindsay about this, of the Almost 30 podcast, of how like a lot of times in your 20s, there's a lot of wake up calls because you have moments where you realize, oh, like this thing I'm doing has nothing to do with me. It's like this thing my mom said or a friend said, or this negative thing I experienced and internalized, and now it's putting me on a track that's not aligned with my, you know, true self. It's like an ego driven thing. So I feel like, anyway, that's a bit of a tangent on that.
No, but I do think,
okay.
no, it also reminded me, Dow Janes, Britt Baker from Dow Janes also said that, is how her 20s was a lot about like letting go of expectations that other people had of her and just living her life for herself and like making decisions that she wanted instead of worrying, well, what does this person want? What does this person want? And it's your life. So try to, and I know that can be hard because I think growing up, we really do rely on other people's opinions and expectations because we're so young that we're like forming ourselves and we don't really know yet.
Yeah, but then once you're, that is true. Like I remember when I was younger, I would often, actually my parents did something to us when we were younger that I think informed like our values and how we are. I'd ask them like, hey, do you think it's okay if blah, blah, blah? And they'd be like, what do you think? Like they wouldn't answer me.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be like, you should pick this one or you should pick this one. They'd ask me like, what do you think is the better choice?
So that we learned how to make choices.
I used to hate it when they did that.
Yeah.
But I do think I will do that to my future children because as much as I hated it, like I do think it started me thinking, okay, then instead of like your parents being like this one or this one and not understanding why, it was like they forced us to like think about what choice we're making.
And also then whatever decision we made was like we have to face the repercussions and we made the decision. So it's like it makes you think harder about the choice you're about to make. And it started as simply as, hey mom, can I have a 10th cookie?
I was just about to say,
she was like,
I was going to use that.
Do you think you should have a 10th cookie, Ava?
I was going to use that exact example.
Do you think that's going to make you sick? You know, that kind of thing.
Even I think a sugar tooth.
I do.
A communal sugar. Oh, sweet tooth.
That's okay.
I think something that like I've always dealt with on my birthday in my 20s, and like Bieberchella kind of felt like some kind of Eras tour that I would literally cry in
If
person.
he did an
if I
Eras
was,
tour,
like,
side note, I'd spend
oh my gosh,
much money.
I would
Probably
would
not
cry.
as much as other people, but I would
cry.
spend more than I usually
Me and
do.
me
would
and one of my friends were texting back and forth. We're like, our entire salary. We'll give our
No,
entire
seriously.
salary.
But I started to go
be
down the rabbit hole of ownership with Bieber's discography, and I don't know the full story, but it got me thinking about ownership in your 20s and how I think a lot of what makes the 20s feel so risky is that it's the first time in your life where you have like complete ownership of your life. Like you're not like some teenager that's like, oh, I'm underage, so
Or you're asking a
it's not my
professor
responsibility.
what to do.
I
Yeah, it's
actually
like
found that to be a
full ownership, which
large
is terrifying.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I feel like for me it was a huge transition from having a lot of things to fall back on in the sense of like I could always blame it on being young or being underage or being like, oh, I haven't done this before, or I haven't, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. And yes, you're still young in your 20s, but like I feel like you know enough to be making good choices and should have ownership of the choices you're making, because I just feel like we're at an age like your brain's almost developed. I mean, I think biologically your brain is developed by 25. That's what they say anyway. That's what I've heard.
I feel that.
Yeah, but it's like by your
now
20s,
27-year-old.
yeah, by your 20s, you really should be taking ownership of the decisions you're making. You don't really have any excuses anymore.
Yeah, I think
And that's a good thing too. I feel like you kind of
Yeah.
I think
don't think
another-
become a better person.
I think another bit of ownership that I thought that we experienced a little bit before our 20s, because I didn't go to university. Crazy. I didn't go to uni. So what we did was we had to think about what the heck we wanted to do with ourselves when we were 18. And thankfully we had a path that we wanted to go on, but I just think most people experience that in their 20s, because I think the age that people usually leave college or university is like 21. And that's another huge thing to like do, is like have own, like literally you go from people telling you what to do. Okay, now you're going to high school, now you're going to university, now you're doing this is your next project, this is your next assignment, to all of a sudden having none of that.
You also have a sense of like in that era of your life of like A plus B equals C.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A plus B equals C. And then when you
It's
get
stability.
Yeah, and then when you get into a phase of your 20s, like I'd say for most people at the time they're 21, 22, 23, out of university, it gets to a point where you're like A plus B equals minus 2, and then you're like, what? Wait,
Yeah.
I thought if you did A plus B it equals C, and then the world is like, no, honey, you got the equation wrong. And turns out you
this
don't even
equation-
know how to do math.
this equation doesn't work in the real world.
Yeah, like it's just like that's been
There
one of the
is
biggest
no
things
equation.
There
There is no
Like I
equation.
have moments where I feel stressed about my future. Like it's like a twofold. It's like on the one hand, amazing, you have ownership over your life.
Yeah, there's a
and
sense
direction.
of freedom.
Yeah, there's a sense of freedom, but there's also a sense of like, oh my God, I don't want to F this up, or you don't know if you're doing the right thing. Like sometimes you're doing stuff and you're like, I hope this works. Like I'm working my ass off and working hard on myself, whether that's personally or professionally or both. But you don't actually know if what you're doing is going to pay off because you're doing so many things for the first time.
Sorry.
Is that there the whole time?
I think it's just an eyelash hair.
Sorry.
There. A little pause in the production. Make a wish.
Uh-oh.
It's not.
It's
noticeable.
But yeah, I think it's like you're doing so many things. Like and I'm referencing like a big undertaking for us is obviously trying to make this TV show that we talk about all the time, and we've been doing this since we were teenagers. And
probably like
the
we're
reality
sick of
is,
hearing
it's like
it.
yes,
Shut
we've
up
worked
about it.
on TV shows and sets, and like yes, we have contacts in the industry that we are very grateful for getting feedback for. But those people can't make what we want happen for us. So it's just at a place. I don't know what I'm trying to say is just like, it's normal to feel the stress in your 20s of like uncertainty, even when you're working really hard. Like there's no guarantee that anything's going to work out. And I think that's what's the pressure that I think a lot of people can feel, whether
We
that's...
were talking about this the other day though too, is I always come back to like, because we do work really hard on our screenwriting. We've been doing it for a really long time. We take a lot of risks and a lot of chances, and we will continue to take large risks and chances with it. And sometimes you think to yourself like, wow, like yesterday we worked for
almost 5 hours.
Yesterday
4.5
was
hours
a Sunday.
On a
Yesterday was a
Sunday.
Sunday, and we work all week, and we work in the evenings. So the Sunday work session was a little bit tough to push through, but we pushed through it. And you kind of have moments of like, wow, like, is this worth it? And I always come back to I'd regret it more if I didn't try. So
Yeah.
it's like whatever the risk is that we're taking, like I would regret it more if we didn't do it.
I think also something we talk
Not
about
all of us
too,
can be
being-
discovered
Sorry,
at
I am getting
13.
emails.
No, and I think like of course Bieber. I also like going back to what we were talking about in a previous episode about like having natural talent. Like you think about Justin Bieber and people are like, wow, he's such a natural. But there's videos of him like at 5 practicing the drums. Like that kid was he was practicing.
He didn't realize it, but
He obviously
was.
had a level of natural talent, but he capitalized on it. And whether he realized it or not, in my opinion, from the very little that I have seen, he earned his way there because he earned his talent. He worked really, really hard. And I think that's a good reminder is like, I think sometimes it's easy to compare ourselves and get a fixed mindset of like, oh, you know, like these people are naturally talented and gifted. Why should I even try? But at the end of the day, like
They were.
hard work.
I
hard
also
work
think
gets you where
yes,
you
you have talent, but I saw a video on Instagram that Dr. Arthur Brooks said, and he was saying that when you're trying to figure out what you want to do, choose something that fascinates you. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that applies to like passion in a way. Like I feel like even Bieber probably is fascinated by music and that kind of thing.
Right.
And I feel like that with us, like sometimes people ask us like, you know, why are you doing this? Why are you putting all this effort in when we haven't gotten anything in return
Zero.
for our screenwriting? Zero. Nothing,
far.
not a dollar, not a penny. Nothing. And
far.
we do it because, I mean, I'm speaking for myself here, but it fascinates me. Like,
Yeah, and I think-
genuinely, I
but I
always
also-
say this, it's like a puzzle, like putting together like a whole cast of characters and like trying
Yeah,
to
and
make the
we're-
world make sense and make it